Hey there everyone, my name is Keno, and welcome back to our Butte Bandits franchise mode expansion series. Now, in the last episode, we got a lot to be hopeful for in this third season with the Butte Bandits, and that is a hot start and some promising performances by our rookies such as Pruka, Appleby, Shabrikov, and Yurov, as well as a bounce-back season by Peyton Krebs. We also have some things to be concerned about, which for me is the shot count that we saw in some of those last simmed games that we did in the last video, where we were getting heavily outshot, but Gustafsson was bailing us out, and some declining production from players like Duclair. Everyone else is having a bit of a surging season, so I think it would just be Duclair that I'm worried about. Oh, and we can't forget that I did knock Boonjenner out of the lineup because he was not contributing. He just wasn't. I also want to get Jack Thompson in the lineup. In between episodes, I was looking at ways to do it, and he does not fit. We can't take Montour Pesci out of the top 1 and 2 spots on the right-hand side. Thompson does not fit on the third pair. You know, I don't know what to do with him, especially when we have Benning coming up as well. We have Dermot Maniscalco. I don't know if he even has a spot on this team, and he is considered an NHL caliber defender right now. So maybe we could use him as a trade piece. I'm not sure. But we're going to start by going through the next 10 games right now and seeing if this team can keep up its good pace. Now, there is another thing that has been just sitting in the back of my head. I literally cannot... every time I think about this series and think about recording this episode, I keep panicking a bit. I'm not trading out Talon Boyko, especially not for two-thirds and or especially not with 2/3 for a second round pick. But there's been something lingering in the back of my head, and that's that we don't necessarily have a backup goalie. Now, originally I had no problem with starting Hrabal or even bumping up Trey Augustine to the backup role, but Hrabal's only played 2 games. But it's been a rocky 2 games, and with how many shots Gustafsson's facing, he might get obliterated every time we put him in net. And Trey Augustine has been pretty abysmal to the point that he lost the starting role in the AHL to Talon Boyko. So I do think in this episode I want to look for a backup goalie or a veteran netminder to come in. Kind of like, if you're not watching the Montreal Canadiens series, by the way, go watch that. Go watch that right now. It's a good series. But in that Montreal Canadiens series, we had some great surprising performances by veteran goalies, like 35-plus goalies. And I think we might have some luck again in this series if we have to go to that. But again, I want to see how this team does over the next 10 games. We're going to give about 6 starts to Philip Gustafsson and 4 starts to Michael Hrabal. This is going to be a test, okay? I want to start the season out well, but we cannot deny that we need to test everything. We need to make sure that everyone's producing and that this team is doing well. All right, so game 11 of the season against the Pittsburgh Penguins here. We're going to slow sim this one to see how the team does. They're off to a rocky start with 3-5-2 being their record this season. But will they get their game going against us? Because it seems like other teams have in the past. First period, scoreless. Shots are 11-9 in favor of us. So that shot counter is a little better now. Second period, 1-0. Shots are 23-12. They only had 3 shots that period. We had 12. Dubois gets us on the board. Looking like a promising game. Third period, scores even. Graves and Burns get them back in the game. Yurov actually ties it up for us. Shots are 33-22 in favor of us, but we nearly lost this one. All right. And overtime, let's quick sim it. Nothing. Okay, in the shootout, I'm just going to quick sim it because we have a lot to do in this video. And we drop it. Goals by Verhaeghe and Carlson put the Pittsburgh Penguins ahead. What a bad first game. It's not terrible, but after a 6-1 loss, I was hoping we'd bounce back a little better than we did. We're going up against another struggling team, but as we just saw, struggling teams seem to get their footing against us. This will be a start for Philip Gustafsson, and then the next start will be Michael Hrabal. So we're going to quick sim this one against the Dallas Stars, who are 2-8-1 in their first 11 games of the season. So we'll see. Maybe they'll continue to crap the bed, or they'll get their game going and win 6-1 here. Let's see. And they continue to crap the bed. They lose 7-4. That was a nice win for us, but I still don't like that we allowed 4 goals. That doesn't look good for me. I know it might look good for you to score 7, and it does look good to score 7, but the allowed 4 doesn't look good. Gustafsson, that's not too bad. We're going to put Hrabal in now against the Vegas Golden Knights, second half of a back-to-back, and then he's going to start the first half of the back-to-back against the LA Kings. Okay, so game 13 of the season. It's a 6-3 loss. That's exactly what I'm talking about. He's going to start here against a struggling Kings team now, see if maybe there's the competition or the team being tired. Game 14 of the season on a very special day for me. And it's a 4-3 win, so he does pick up 2 points for us. That's great. We're going to throw Gustafson back in net here for the next little bit and see if Gustafson can continue to bail us out against the Edmonton Oilers, who another struggling team. They're not as bad as, say, the Dallas Stars were or the Pittsburgh Penguins were, but they're still struggling. Game 15 of the season. No, I'm not making any trades. Oh, Martin Jones there was that veteran netminder. A 4-3 shootout loss. So he got us a point, but I want the wins. I want convincing wins. Against the New Jersey Devils here, who are on a bit of a better streak lately in their last 10, 7-1-2. So they kind of started the season badly and have bounced back very well. Let's see how we do. Game 16 of the season. A 5-4 loss. So I do like to keep to my rule of 2, and that is that if a goalie loses 2 out of 3 games, they are sent back to the backup rule, and we give the backup a few games, and that will happen now. Now, Hrabal has been pretty abysmal. He's gotten 2 wins for us, but I'm nervous he's going to get shelled here against a 5-5-0 team in the last 10, but I'm just so nervous. You can hear me tripping over my words. Let's see. Game 17 of the season, quick sim it. 4-3 shootout win. So he once again allowed 3 goals in a game. We're going to keep him in here against the Arizona Coyotes. We've faced a lot of middling 500 teams or sub 500 teams, and we've not done as great as I'd hope we would. So I don't even know what to expect here against the Arizona Coyotes. Hrabal in net. Game 18 of the season, 6-1 win. That's better. I like games like that. That's what I get excited about. That's what I get hopeful about. All right, we're going to go 2 more games. We're going to give Hrabal the start here against a struggling Montreal Canadiens team. Once again, another struggling team. And we're going to give Gustafson the second half of this back-to-back. Game 19 of this season. A 5-4 shootout win. Okay, so that's 3 straight wins for Hrabal. We cannot deny that. Yes, he's allowed a few goals in those ones, but he's bounced back from 873 to an 894. So he's looking a little better, a little less rocky. All right, Gustafson back in net here. He's going up against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's see how he does. They're off to a good start. They're doing well. This is going to be our first true competition, so we're going to slow sim this one and see how our team does against a true competitive team. First period. Score is even and shots are even, 13 apiece. All right, that's not too bad. Second period. Still. Score is even. Shots are now 23-19 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's see how this third period runs out. I'm just going to quick sim it. Third period, and they win 3-0. Shots at 34-27. Victor Hedman and Tanner Jeannot get 2 past Philip Gustafson, and then Killorn gets the empty netter with a minute left in the game. So Gustafson had a pretty decent game, but our scoring was nowhere to be found. But after 20 games, we're still top of our division, so it's looking better than it has in the past. Peyton Krebs with 15 points in 20 games, so he's doing great. Dubois with 14 points in 20 games. Okay. Bessu with 20 points in 20 games is pretty good. Pruka with 15 points in 20 games. I can't really be upset with that. Appleby with 13 points in 20 games, 8 goals. I think he's on pace for 20-25 goals this season. He's doing pretty well. Shabrikov with 15 points in 20 games. Duclair's not doing well. That third line's, again, 1 goal in 10 games for Beecher. You're off with 9 points in 20, but Beecher's coming back out. It just wasn't working. On that fourth line, though, 12 points in 20 games for Blake Coleman. 12 points in 20 games for Scott Lawton, and 14 points in 20 games for Connor Garland. So that fourth line is still producing. What we're going to do here, though, I said I was going to put Beecher, I said I was going to take Beecher out, but I'm going to put Beecher back in, and we're going to do what I was tinkering with in between videos. We're going to put Beecher on the top line there. Shoot me. I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm going to try Duclair, Dubois, and Urov on the third line as the starting line with Krebs, Beecher, Besser as the top line. Gonna see what happens there. Defensively, Keandre Miller with 12 points in 20 games and even plus minus, and then Montour with 17 points in 20 games and a -4. So Gerard with 18 points in 20 games, consistent as ever. He is one of the steadiest defensemen we've had. He's a +11 as well. 12 points in 20 games for Pesci, another +11. Very good. That second pairing is doing great, and that's great. That's exactly what we need from our top 4. I wish the top line was doing better, but it's not that bad. Third line, Alexiak is still just an anomaly. 9 points in 20 games, a +9, And Myers now has 5 points in 20 games with a plus 12. So the bottom two pairs are doing great. The top pair is just a little concerning, but I don't want to mix it up too much. So we're just going to keep it as is on the defensive side. And then Philip Gustafson doing decently, 8 wins in 13 games, but I want to see a little more from him. Hrabal, again, 5 wins in 7 games, so that's pretty good. We're going to keep Gustafson in net here as we go through the next 10 games. I'm going to go through them relatively quickly and see how this team does on, like, cruise control. Against the New York Islanders, we lose 7-4. Okay, and immediately I'm taking Gustafson out. I have my rule of 2. 2 losses and you're out. 2 losses in 3 games and you're out. And he did not bounce back, so he's back to the backup role. Hrabal's back in the starter, and we're going to see how he does against the Flyers team that is just abysmally bad. Let's see. 4-3 overtime loss. That counts as 1 loss against the San Jose Sharks, who are 500. That's another loss. Of course the team comes back down to earth. Of course they just immediately start crapping the bed. Beecher, that's enough of a sample size for me. You had 2 goals in 2 games, but you're a -7. You're out of here. You're just scratched again. I shouldn't have given him that 5-year extension. I thought he would do good after that promising first season, and he's just been terrible. We're going to go back to this. Duclair with 5 points in 23 games. You know what? No, we're gonna make the changes now because I'm not gonna have any anchors weigh us down leading into the season. I know you guys might think I'm making a lot of moves in this series. You can shoot me for that, but I'm not. I'm so frustrated when I see a player struggling. I want to shoot him off into the freaking sun. So Duclair, what can we get for you? Back to the Florida Panthers for a second in Prosvetov, Chernyshov, Height, Strommel, Kumpalainen. So the Minnesota Wild really want him. Don't want to give him up for any veterans. We have players we can call up. I guess it's going to be a second in Prosvetov. I don't really want to do that. A third and a fourth from the... Let's see if I can get maybe a second from the Pittsburgh Penguins just to make it worth my while. Maybe a second and a fourth. Are they moving out anyone else interesting? Letang, Burns, Carlson, Graves, Paula, Shen. Nope. None of those are interesting to me. Let's see if we can get a second round pick and a fourth for Anthony Duclair. No, they don't want to give it up. So we're going to quickly... Kale Dock, no. Jordan Gavin is available, no. Phillips, Mazar, trying to find a team that... Okay, so the Florida Panthers do want him. A second round pick and a fourth round pick. Will you take this, Florida? Nope. We're going to throw in a 6 just to make it worth their while. And that'll get it done. Yep. Declare back to the Florida Panthers and off this roster because I'm just not waiting for it. And we're going to call up... It's either we call up a veteran or a rookie, and I think it's going to be the rookie. Akil Thomas is coming up to the lineup now to get some ice time for us. Now, I also should move out Jack Thompson because I don't want him to get too upset. We're going to throw Akil Thomas in here on that third line. And you know what I'm going to try? I'm going to try Jenner on the wing, Thomas on the top line. I know it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but we're going to try it out. We are 13-7-3 through 23 games so far. Let's see how we do without Duclair in the lineup anymore because he wasn't working for us against the Calgary Flames, who are a pretty similar record, a 5-4 win, and against the Colorado Avalanche, game 25 of the season, a 4-2 win. Okay, we're gonna keep on cruise control here until game 30 against the New York Rangers, a 4-3 loss. That's fine. One more loss though, and Hrabal's gonna be sent back. Against the Detroit Red Wings, a 6-3 loss. So well, we had to change him out anyways because I didn't want to put him in a back-to-back. But that's a little concerning. How's Akil Thomas done in his 2 games? Or his 4? He's played 4 games. 2 points in 4 games. You know what? That's not too bad. Hrabal's going back to that backup role. Gustafson back in the starter. Yeah, I think it's also time to look for a goalie. I know they offered us Prosvetov, but that wasn't the type of goalie I was looking for. Against the Seattle Kraken, we're going to go the next 3 games and then see what happens. 6-4 loss, and again another loss, and he's back out of the starting role. And he does. I'm gonna count that as a draw, honestly. 4-3 shootout loss. You can't really fault him for that. Against the Minnesota Wild, game 30 of the season. 8-1 win. That's better. That's better. Okay, let's see how the team is doing so far through 30 games. So, Peyton Krebs with 25 points in 30 games. Absolute bounce back season. I'm glad we didn't give up on him. Maybe we shouldn't have given up on Khrushchev, but he was doing really bad. At least Krebs had points last season. Khrushchev didn't. Akil Thomas with 4 points in 7 games and a +4. He's doing great. And then Brock Besser with 37 points in 30 games, so he's on a bit of a hot streak. Dominic Pruka, 23 points in 30 games, 9 goals. That's pretty good. And then Cooper Appleby with 16 goals, 8 assists, 24 points in 30 games. He's going to be throwing pucks left, right, and center at that goalie. Any goalie we face. Nikita Shabrikov with 25 points in 30 games. That second line is just consistent. I love it. That's the one good sign of this season, is that second line is doing great. Third line, Jenner's starting to get his game going. I can't really be upset about that. Dubois with 21 points in 30 games. I know we have him for like 5 years. I shouldn't be playing him on the third line, but it's starting to work, I think. Yurov, he's a -8, 13 points in 30 games. He's listed as a depth forward. I think it's time to knock him down. I just can't be... I got to be going for wins here. Connor Garland, 15 points in 30 games as a fourth liner. Lawton with 14 points in 30 games as a fourth liner. And Coleman with 13 points in 30 games as a fourth liner. That's insane. We are going to take Yurov out of the lineup. And I'm going to put Beecher back in. We're going to see if maybe he can get going. He was a little bit of a negative player for us. But we're going to see maybe... No, I'm not putting him back on the top line. We're keeping it as it is. Keandre Miller with 9 points in 30 games and a -5. So yeah, that top line is not doing well. -8 for Montour with 29 points in 30 games. And then Girard with 29 points in 30 games. But he's a +18. Do you see the difference there? Offensive defenseman who can actually play well. Brett Pesce, 16 points in 30 games. +15. That second pair is doing great. And then 10 points in 30 games for Alexiak. 7 points in 30 games for Myers. So that third pair is also doing great. We're going to switch it up though. Girard and Pesce are not going to get the starting minutes. And then I don't know what to do. But Montour is now on his second straight season in the negatives. Third straight season with us in the negatives. And I'm not very excited about that. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not very excited about that. He's putting up points, but it can't be at the cost of us giving up games. We're going to try this. Oh, I don't want... No, hold on a second. I don't want them to be a starter. They can't handle it right now. They can't handle those extended minutes. We're going to give... Even though it gives no attribute bonus, we're going to give Girard and Pesce the start, and we're going to... Or the top line, and we're going to give Alexiak and Myers, once again, the starting role every game. And we're going to go through these next 10 or 11 games to the halfway point of the season, and then I'm going to probably call it there. We're up against a really hot Vancouver team who is 8-0-2 in their last 10. Let's see. Game 31 of the season. 6-1 win. That's good. Against the Columbus Blue Jackets. A 4-3 shootout loss. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep them in that. Against the St. Louis Blues. A 3-2 win. Okay. Against the middling Nashville team. Game 34 of the season. A 4-2 win. Okay. That's good. And that was... We're going to go through the Christmas break now. Boxing Day game. Let's see. This team has done well. This team has started to really pick it up. We're 5-3-2 through our last 10. We got to look at the fact that this team's picking up points no matter what. Against the Florida Panthers here, game 35 of the season. It's a 5-4 shootout win. Again, picking up those extra points. 15, 15, and 5 for the Ottawa Senators through their season so far. Let's see if we can pick up another win. And it's another win. 3-2 win. Besser is on a torrid streak. Just 5 more games until we call it a pause, or call it to a pause here. We're 6-2-2 in our last 10 against the Winnipeg Jets, who are again middling. And we finally drop one. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm gonna keep him in net. We're gonna start with the hot goalie against the Carolina Hurricanes. Please don't make me regret that. Oh, Joel Eriksson-Ek. I should have looked at that. A 4-3 loss there. Now we're gonna go to Philip Gustafsson, because I believe Hrabal was starting all those games. We're gonna go to Gustafsson and see how he does. Oh, it was Gustafsson starting. Oh my gosh, so he was pulling out some wins there. Okay. I'm sorry, I was giving some shade to Gustafsson, but he was doing well against the Buffalo Sabres, who are doing just as well, if not better than us this season. Game 39. And in the new year, first game of the new year, and we win it 5-2. That's promising. That's promising. Okay, and now game 40 against the Anaheim Ducks, who, again, a middling team. It seems like every team this year is just... Every team we face is either really good or pretty average. Against the Anaheim Ducks, game 40, a 4-3 shootout loss. Not too bad. And then against the Toronto Maple Leafs, game 41, the halfway point of the season. Let's see. First half of a back-to-back. It's a 4-3 shootout win. That is great. And it's actually a little weird that we ended the last video off of a back-to-back where we started the first game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, if I'm not mistaken. Did we not? Yes, we started the first game against we started the first game in the last video, 6-1 loss of a back-to-back, and the second game was against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And once again, we're in a back-to-back as we call this to a close, and it's a Toronto and Pittsburgh back-to-back. I'm stumbling over all my words. It's been a long morning. I will be honest, this is my 4th time trying to record this video. I didn't ever make progress before. I just kept stumbling over my words so much that it's like I have to do so much editing already for this video that I don't want to have to add more problems in. I've been sick for the last week and a half. I've been staying up late to record videos, but this is my second job. And see, I didn't even say this. I said this is my second job. I forgot one of the words. I forgot one of the syllables of a word. Anyways, let's take a look at how the team has done and who is a standout so far this season, halfway through the season. On that top line, Peyton Krebs, again, still doing dominantly, 31 points in 41 games. Nikhil Thomas, for a start, 6 points in 18 games, so maybe we look at bumping him back down, but Besser's doing great, 45 points in 41, so Krebs and Besser are really carrying that top line. On the second line, Dominic Pruka with 35 points in 41 games, that's pretty damn good. Cooper Appleby is now a 20 goal scorer, 37 points in 41 games, so that second line's heating up more. And then 33 points in 41 games for Nikita Shabrikov. Now, let's see how that third line's doing. Boone Jenner's got 7 points in 28 games. He's now in the plus category, so that's good. 29 points in 41 games for Dubois, so he's going back up that top line. There's no doubt. And then Beecher with 11 points in 24 games, so maybe I don't regret giving him a contract now. Maybe he's doing well. And on the fourth line, 17 points in 41 games for Blake Coleman. 20 points in 41 games for Scott Lawton, and 19 points in 41 games for Connor Garland. So let's look at maybe giving a Jenner, Beecher, Garland a look at the third line. I know we've been doing well and I shouldn't be jumbling lines, but I'm going to. Sam Girard with 39 points in 41 games and a plus 25. Stellar performance. 22 points in 41 games and a plus 24 for Brett Pesce. Yes. That's what I want. I want all of my defensive pairings to be like this. I think everyone would want that. This is an ideal defensive line. They're putting up great results. They're probably one of the most dominant in the league. We'll take a look at the league stats in a second here. That's great. Now let's look at that second line. 10 points in 41 games for Keandre Miller. 37 points in 41 games for Brandon Montour and a -9. Alexiak with 13 points in 41 games on the third pair. And Myers with 9 points in 41 games. But both of them pluses. So Miller Montour isn't working. We're going to try this out. Alexiak, Montour, Miller, Myers. That'll be for the next video. Daniil Yurov. Can I send you down? I can. So we're going to look to send Daniil Yurov down. And we're going to probably move out Jack Thompson in the next video. I don't want Yurov just sitting and doing nothing. Who do we call up? It'll be none other than... Jakob Trenin, because it looks like Harvey Pinard is on a heater down there in the AHL, so I don't really want to move him out if I don't have to. We're gonna put who do I want? Henry Nikkanen there, Perot down here, and we're gonna put Yurov here. He's not gonna play on the third line. We're gonna put Sokolov on the third line. Let's look at how people are doing in the minors quickly. Maxwell Ellison, 31 goals in 41 games, 44 points. You guys are gonna shoot me. You guys are gonna shoot me. You guys are absolutely gonna shoot me. Either you're gonna shoot me or you've been screaming all video for me to do this. Also, shameless plug. I know it's toward the end of the video, but I have to throw it in. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're liking this video. It's been a great journey so far, and we're growing pretty rapidly, honestly. But thank you guys so much. And let's see. We're gonna Akil Thomas. No, we just called him up. Jakob Trenin. Don't want to lose him on waivers. Can't send down Jack. Oh, I don't even have to send. Oh, I do have to send someone down. I haven't even given a shot. All right, we're gonna send Akil Thomas down. If he gets claimed, that's gonna suck. He does not get claimed. Roll errors. What happened here? Okay, AJ Greer in this line here, and then Akil Thomas here, and he's gonna do the double shifting. Actually, we're gonna give it to... Do we have another rookie that we need to grow? Constantinius. And then again... Oh, hold on a second. Greer's gonna come out for Daniil Yurov. I didn't even realize that he got bumped back out. So Daniil Yurov in there. And we're gonna go like this. No, I don't want Lombardi down there. We're going to get him on the top line, and we're going to bump Harvey Pinard up to the top. Yeah, I think that's fair. And then Robert here, and that's going to be how we do that. And then defensively, what's the problem here? On the power play line 2. Okay, it's just that stupid glitch. Okay, obviously this team might be struggling because I haven't really focused on them too much. 26 points in 41 games for Dermott, 30 points in 41 games for Maniscalco, so they're doing great. Oh, Benning's off to a hot season. His third year with the team. He had 24 and 22 last season, now 39 and 41, so he's going to be dynamic for us. Maybe he's Montour's replacement. And then Boyko has been notching wins for them, 22 wins in 32 games. We want to get Augustine back in, though, and see how he does. And back to Butte Bandits lines, we have to get him in the lineup. We have to. And here it is, Maxwell Ellison making his, I believe, NHL debut. We're going to put him on that third line with Beecher and Garland, and we're going to go with Jenner, Lott, and Coleman as the fourth line. And then we have to give him power play time. We have to. I'm sorry. It's in his contract. He needs power play time anytime he plays. So Maxwell Ellison is going to go over here, and we're going to run Garland and Gerard on the point. So it'll be Krebs, Ellison, and Shabrikov right there as the second power play. And now I'm so tempted to sim just a few games to see how they do. And you know what? We're going to do it. I'm not going to look at any stats aside from Maxwell Ellison's after this. Let's see. Against the Pittsburgh Penguins here quickly. We're going to slow sim this one. See if Maxwell Ellison can get on the board with his first NHL goal. First period, 1-1. Krebs and Letang notch goals respectively. Second shots are 15 and 9 in favor of us. Second period, Cooper Appleby gets another. Shots are 28 to 19 in favor of us. And third period, we win it. So Ellison doesn't get his first NHL goal, but we do get a win there. Let's do this back-to-back here. I'm going to keep Robel in for both of them. I want to see if he can handle it. Against the Dallas Stars, quick sim with this one. And it's a 4-2 win against the Vegas Golden Knights. Quick sim. I don't want to make it. Ooh, hold on a second. No, Robel's doing well. We'll revisit that at the trade deadline. A 3-2 win there. Okay, Robel just, see? He was like, thank you for giving me faith. And again, wait. Hold on a second. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is the season not just... Is the season not just restarting here? Hold on a second. It exactly is. Leafs, Penguins, another back-to-back against Stars, Knights, and then another back-to-back against the Kings, Oilers, followed by a game against the Devils and Capitals. And then here, it was Ducks, then Leafs, then Penguins, Dallas Stars, then Knights, back-to-back with the LA Kings and Oilers. And the only thing that changes is that we don't have a Capitals game directly after the New Jersey Devils game. It's almost identical, season. Almost identical to the start of the season. That's insane. Against the LA Kings here, again, Robel's getting the start for both games. And it's a 5-2 loss. Okay, against the Oilers here, who are on a hot streak, 8-2 over in the last 10, and a 5-3 loss. Okay, so maybe we shouldn't have put him in. Maybe we shouldn't have. That's probably going to end the video here. Let's see how Maxwell Ellison did. Did you get your first NHL points? 3 goals in 5 games. He is staying with the team for the rest of the season. Our 9th overall pick has arrived. I'm going to brag about it all I want. I'm going to be as excited as I want. I know he's just a +1, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I don't really want to send Krebs down that third line, but I would love to get Ellison on that top line. Okay, now I got to try it out. Okay, I've been recording for so long. I got to try it, though. Against the New Jersey Devils, top line, Maxwell Ellison. How do we do? I know I kept Robel in net, and it's a 2-1 loss. I shouldn't have kept Robel in. I'm going to keep Robel in, though. Against the Chicago Blackhawks here, game 48 of the season. It's a 6-3 win, and then we're going to go to game 51, and then we'll consider the next video a trade deadline video. Against the Washington Capitals here, it's a 5-4 shootout loss, so we got some points. And then against the Arizona Coyotes for game 50 of the season, a 3-1 win. And then we're going into a back-to-back. I'll do the first game of the back-to-back just to keep it even with what we were going to leave off with. Against the Montreal Canadiens, Robel's getting his probably final start, a 4-3 shootout loss. I can't really fault him there. I can't really fault him. And we'll look, Maxwell Ellison, 6 points in 10 games, 5 goals. Oh my gosh, we should have played him earlier. And Robel with a 9-1, 14 wins in 27 games. That's great. I'm going to take a look at that second line because they look like they've made some progression, honestly. Pruka with 43 points in 51 games. Cooper Appleby on the verge of his first 30-goal season and his first NHL season. 44 points in 51 games with 27 goals. And then Nikita Shabrikov with 42 points in 51 games. So they are doing great on that second line still. John Beecher with 15 points in 34 is good. And Krebs still putting up points, 37 and 51. So maybe he's dropped off a bit, but it's for a good cause of getting Maxwell Ellison some ice time. And he is producing as well. Again, a quick look at the league leaders to see. We're not probably with them because we have scoring on high and we only have 1 point per game player. But currently, Cooper Appleby is our second leading scorer on the team. And obviously, yes, the Tampa Bay Lightning are going crazy. 87 points in 49 games for Braden Point and 86 points in 49 games for Nikita Kucherov, including, 42 goals in 49 games. I've seen a lot of scary goal totals here. 44 goals in 52 games for Connor Bedard. 33 goals in 50 games for Jack Eichel, 32 and 50 for Horvat, 30 and 50 for both Caulfield and Matthews. And then Caden Seifers, the franchise player we missed out on, and instead took Maxwell Ellison with 31 goals in 51 games. Wow. Yeah, it's a high-scoring season. Let's look at the top-scoring defenseman. It is Adam Fox with 73 points in 49 games. The likes of Sam Girard is on the top 10, I believe, of scoring for defensemen, so that's good to look at. Goaltenders, we're not going to be on that list. Let's see who is doing the best, though. Amongst starters, highest save percentage would be Tristan Jarry with a 911, followed by Demko with a 909. And then some decent backups, and there's players that we could look at. Not that Kemper is a backup, but with 1 year left, he's listed actually as a backup. 1 year left, we can fit the cap in. Jeremy Swayman doing great. 922, and then Blackwood 933 through 14 games. Yeah, we have some options here. You guys let me know in the comments down below if you want one of these 3 goalies to join the team. Probably not Swayman, because we have goaltending, like a goaltending future with Gustafsson. But we need someone to really back him up and take the load off. And I know Hrabel's doing great, but there is a potential to just have someone just in case. We can run 3 goalies on the main roster. You guys let me know. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been a weird, crazy episode for me. Again, I took 4 times recording this, but we're done here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And in the next episode, we'll go through the trade deadline and maybe take the Butte Bandits to their first playoff berth. Can we do this? Can we make the playoffs in the next episode? We will see. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.